Hey guys, it's 2019 and I'm going to be going through my entire collection of PlayStation games. So, from the original PlayStation, all the way to the Vita. So, let's get started. So, I originally got my PlayStation from my late uncle sometime in the early 2000s, and he gave me a handful of games. Big Race USA, a pinball game, Walt Disney's Tarzan, which unfortunately the case itself isn't exactly in great shape right now. Spyro the Dragon, which unfortunately I lost the disc to. I don't know where it is, and I also don't know where my original PlayStation is. Um, they actually released a remaster recently, so I'll probably play it off of there. Maybe. Namco Museum Volume 3 includes Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Galaxian, and 3 other games. Yeah. And finally, the best, I think, in my opinion, probably the best one, Pac-Man World. Yeah, remember when they actually made good 3D Pac-Man games? This was one of them. I still haven't actually beaten it yet. In fact, I don't think I've actually beaten any of these games. Even though I've had them for, I think, 15 years now. But unfortunately, this is basically all I've ever owned. And I never actually tried out some of the more well-known games like Metal Gear Solid or Final Fantasy VII and the like. I was actually interested in getting the PlayStation Classic, but only to find out that most of the games were not the more popular ones on the system. Some of them were just mediocre and all that, but that's a whole different topic. Now let's move on to my PlayStation 2 collection. I actually got my PlayStation 2 back around 2011, and you know, it has both grown and shrunk in the last 8 years or so. So so first we have Genji Dawn of the Samurai. I really liked this game when it first released. I mean, when I first got it, my one of my relatives gave this to me. I got the sequel, which was probably one of the worst PS3 games I ever played. I really did enjoy this. Don't know if I enjoy it now, but who knows. This one I also got as a gift. I got from my relative. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Didn't make it very far in it though. Dragon Ball Z Budokai. This is my reintroduction into the Dragon Ball franchise. I mean, I watched the series when it was airing in the mid 2000s, but that was so long ago. I barely remember any of it. It was an okay game. I should mention that the HD remaster of this game features a completely different soundtrack. You can look up why. I'm not going to go into reasons. Hot Shot Golf 4. Really like this game quite a bit. Lord of the Rings. The Two Towers. I barely played this game. I recently watched the Lord of the Rings movie. The first one. I'll be honest. It's not my cup of tea, if you know what I mean. I'm not really into it. And sadly, I'm also not into this game. Next up, Onimusha Warlords. This game recently got a remaster on the Nintendo Switch, as well as the PS4 and Xbox One. I did not get very far into this. I think I tried it once and that's it. Crimson Sea 2. I also didn't get very far in this either. Devil May Cry 2. Again, didn't get too far into this. Comes on 2 discs. One for each playable character. I heard this game was sort of the black sheep in the series. I haven't actually played any of the other Devil May Cry games, so I wouldn't know for sure. Who knows? Maybe I'll buy the HD collection someday and actually play the games in order from there. And finally, Lego Star Wars, Lego Star Wars the video game. This is actually one of the few PS2 games that came on a blue disc. If those of you unaware, the blue discs some consoles had trouble running this blue disc for some reason. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but I think I also ran into some problems with it. Can't remember. Yeah, these games right here, they were given to me by my relative. So, of course, I'm going to hang on to them. As for all these, well, I bought them. Or in this case, I got as a Christmas present. The Call of Duty Legacy, which includes Call of Duty Finest Hour and Call of Duty 2 Big Red One. These games, Finest Hour, was developed. It doesn't say who developed it. Interesting. I'm not sure who developed this, but I think this was the first Call of Duty game to make its way onto consoles. And then Call of Duty 2 Big Red One, I think this one was actually developed by Treyarch. I don't know for sure, but these two games felt very different from one another. I can say that now. There's also this game-breaking bug at the beginning of Finest Hour, which kind of almost ruined the game. Kind of ruins the game. Almost ruins the game for me. But nevertheless, these are two good Call of Duty games on the PS2, and unfortunately, it was followed up. Unfortunately, the last Call of Duty game, Call of Duty World at War: Final Fronts, is not a good game. It's So this game was released during the transition from the 6th generation to 7th generation systems, and this was the last Call of Duty game released on any 6th generation console. I'm honestly surprised they didn't just bring over the HD version. I mean, they actually got this game running on they got World at War running on the Nintendo Wii. I mean, yeah, they did have to it doesn't look very good, and they even cut out a level, I think, but it was still playable, and this is a very watered down experience. It really is. Like, it was developed by Rebellion, and doesn't even have any multiplayer, which these two games actually have, and no longer work. Next game, Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh boy, I have no idea what was going on through Sonic Team's head during 2005. I mean, it just seems so absurd. A 3-foot tall hedgehog holding a gun, and also the game. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure of sorts for me. The story, like the way this game is structured is kind of like a visual novel. Now that I think about it, you have all these alternative pathways, and unfortunately, it also meant the story was a complete mess. And you also have to play the first level like 10 times just to get to the true ending. It's kind of padding to the extreme. Sonic Unleashed, the last 3D Sonic game released on the PS2. I should mention, like Call of Duty World at War Final Front, this game is a completely separate version from the HD version. And it's also very much the same as the Wii version as well, just a little more blurry. Honestly, I had a fun time with this game. I really did. And as the last Sonic game, honestly, it was, I gotta say, I think it ended Sonic's run on the PS2 on a high note. Especially considering the last couple of games, Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog ran somewhat, from what I've heard, ran worse than their GameCube counterparts. Sonic Heroes, I think, ran at 60 frames, and Sonic Heroes ran at 30. This game runs at a pretty solid 30, I think, which compared to, say, the HD version with its serious frame rate problems is a plus in my books. I'll give it that. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Now, this is actually the true last Sonic game ever released on the PS2. It was also never released in... The PS2 version of Sonic Riders Zero Gravity was never released in Japan. And, like Sonic Unleashed, was also released on the Nintendo Wii. Now, and also features more blurry more. It also looks a little more blurry, of course. But hey, at least you don't have to deal with the motion controls. Yeah, I think for some reason, the Nintendo Wii version has this is I think it's compatible with the GameCube controller, but not the Wii Classic controller. So if you play this game on the Wii U, if you play the Wii version on the Wii U, you have to use the motion controls, which I from what I can tell is not very good. Can be very unresponsive. Next up, Mega Man X Collection. This is a compilation of seven Mega Man games in one collection. It's actually just Mega Man 1 to 6 plus a bonus game. I can't remember. Oh yes, Mega Man Battle and Chase racing game never before released in the US. I should mention that the version of Mega Man X3 included in this collection is, I think, the PlayStation version, as opposed to the Super Nintendo version, which some people favor more for some reason. I think because of the music. Not too sure about that. I haven't gone too far. I think I beat Mega Man X on this, and then still working on X2. I'm probably just going to get the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, if only just for Mega Man X7 and X8. Hot Shots Tennis, pretty decent tennis game, I guess. Now, the last three games I actually got when I bought my fat PS3, which unfortunately broke down. It fell victim to the whole yellow light of death, and there goes so $90 down the drain, and all I got is like 3 games. Enter the Matrix, which I heard which hasn't aged very well. The Getaway, and finally Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. And yeah, that's basically it for my PS2 collection. Don't really own that much for either. I mean, I did actually own quite a lot more, but I since sold them or traded them away for various reasons. Now we move on to the PlayStation 3, which I got back in January of 2014. So I still have my Slim to this day, and it still works. So 5 years, and here's all my games. It's actually a lot. It was actually a lot bigger, and I'm sure for the people who actually watch my previous videos of previous PS3 collection videos, it was a bit bigger, probably a bit bigger. I've since traded some games away because I got the Xbox 360 version just to play on my Xbox One, since you do actually get some performance improvement in performance. But let's actually get to the games. So first, we have the Crysis games, Crysis 2 and 3. I'm aware that these games don't run very well, which is why I got Crysis 3 on the Xbox 360. Still hoping to maybe get Crysis 2 on the Xbox 360, and then I'll probably play the games. But at this point, I don't have any plans on playing the PS3 versions of these games anytime soon. And now, moving on, we have my Call of Duty games. I actually, at one point, had all the games released on the PS3, physically anyways. So, I still have Call of Duty 3, which, honestly, I didn't really like all that much. I had played Modern Warfare 2 beforehand, and I got spoiled. So, going back to this was just not a pleasant experience. It's a shame, because this game was actually made by Treyarch. Oh well. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Game of the Year Edition. Unlike Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, the Game of the Year Edition contains all the DLC on the disc. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, I can't get the I had trouble with the multiplayer with this. Uh, it wouldn't work for some reason, and I don't know if it's because of the Game of the Year edition or something on the server side. I just don't know. But yeah, it's I played it. It was good. Next up, Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, again, I think I traded something for this. I can't remember what I traded for, but I traded something for this. Now, Call of Duty Ghosts, the Steelbook edition. I got this as part of the Hardened edition, which I also did an unboxing of. I got everything. That is the game and the season pass for $20, which was a steal. Honestly, it's a pretty good, solid game. I can see where some people are complaining about this game, especially after Black Ops 2, not being as good. So, but in my books, it's still a pretty decent game. Next up, we have the Call of Duty Black Ops Collection, which includes Black Ops 1, 2, and 3. All packed into 2 cases. So, here we have the combo pack, which comes with Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I should mention that the PS3 version of this game contains only multiplayers and zombies. They cut out the campaign because they couldn't get it running apparently couldn't get it running at an acceptable level. It's a shame, really, but then again, the campaign itself had nothing to do with the previous 2 games, so you're not missing out too much. I definitely don't recommend getting the PS3 version of Black Ops 3 because you were missing out on quite a bit. Next up, BioShock Infinite. I actually borrowed this from a friend. It also includes the original BioShock on the disc. You just have to install it onto the PS3's hard drive. I haven't really played too much of this. I played a bit of BioShock, but that's it. I'm meaning to get back into this. I'm not sure whether I should just continue playing on PS3 or just getting the remaster on Xbox One. I'll decide later. Resistance: Fall of Man, developed by Insomniac, the same guys who just did Spider-Man on PS4. I have yet to touch this. I'll probably get to it eventually. What I won't get to is Dead Island Game of the Year Edition, which I have for Xbox One through Game Pass. I don't. I'll probably just sell this thing at some point. Next up, we have Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist Signature Edition, which also includes some DLC content. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Double Agent. I'm aware that the PS2 version of this game is a much different experience, as it was developed by a completely different studio, from what I've heard. I also have this on Xbox 360, so I'm probably not going to try this. Same for these games. Well, I don't actually own these on Xbox 360, but I don't plan on playing these anytime soon, unfortunately. Next up, Grand Theft Auto 4 and Episodes from Liberty City, the complete edition. Now, when I got this, the guy who sold it to me at EB Games just gave me the Grand Theft Auto 4 disc and the Episodes from Liberty City disc and just put it in one package. Normally, it's supposed to come all in one disc, but he just got 2 separate discs and put them all in one box, and that's it. Oh well. Next, Grand Theft Auto 5. I have yet to actually play this. I tried Grand Theft Auto 3 a while ago, didn't really like it, and I still haven't actually bothered trying to try any of these games. Hopefully one day. Maybe one day. Next up, High Speed Robot Action. Zone of the Enders HD Collection includes a demo of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Yeah, I heard mixed things about this remaster. From what I've heard, they actually had to bring in a separate studio to work on an update patch for this. I tried it once, a couple times on the first game, and boy, the cutscenes the pre-rendered cutscenes have not aged well at all. I'll say that. Next up, we have the Metal Gear Solid franchise. So I have Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. Includes Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. All of which have been remastered to run at 720p, I think, at 60 frames per second. Although I'm aware there are some drops here and there. Still a great collection to get if you want to get into the Metal Gear Solid franchise. What I don't recommend is starting off with Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. You really need to play the previous games in order to really understand the story here, because boy, this is hands down. This game hands down has some of the longest cutscenes in any games I've played. Usually lasting about half an hour. Like, that is insane. I mean, I'll give them credit where credit is due, but still, that is a lot to take in. Still pretty decent, but when you actually do play the game, it's actually pretty good. This game could really use a remaster on PS4 at some point, or whatever console that Sony makes. It's been 10 years, by the way. 10 years. Next up, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. This is for a lot of people, this was a glorified tech demo, and I don't blame them. It only lasts I think the main story only lasts like a couple hours, and then you have like a few missions. Do not pay full price for this. Like, in fact, if anything, you can get it as part of the Metal Gear Solid 5 Definitive Edition, which is available on PS4 and Xbox One right now. Comes with this, along with Phantom Pain bundled together, as well as all the DLC. So, yeah, there's that. Still, for the PlayStation 3, it actually runs pretty well. Surprisingly okay. I mean, it definitely has some serious drops, but visually, it looks really good. I actually also owned Phantom Pain on the PS3 and beat the game on said system, and although I don't own it now, it is quite a technical achievement, but that they even got it running on PS3. Next up, we have the Battlefield series. Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield Bad Company 2. Also comes with Battlefield 1943, which, surprisingly, I was able to claim, even though that I bought a used copy. I'll be honest, wasn't really... I felt this game was meh, or average. Haven't even finished Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 4, even after all this time, still has problems. Like, there's this one glitch in the campaign that makes it impossible to complete the mission unless you restart all over again. Really wrecks the experience. Alright, let's move on to the final stack here. First off, we got Persona 5. This was one of the last PlayStation 3 games, last major PS3 game ever released, and they definitely ended the console's life on a very high note. This is considered one of the best JRPGs of the generation. Granted, you can get it on PS4, but still, this was originally a PS3 game, which I think were going to release much earlier, but they delayed it for quality assurance purposes, but also so that they could port it to PS4. Still, if you own a PS3, you should definitely try this game out. I barely touched it, but I can tell from all the reviews that you're in for a very good game. Next up, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. This is actually an HD remastering of 2 games. Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube and Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. I have yet to actually touch this. Although when I actually got it, I think the case was broken. Oh, yeah, the case is broken. I even made a... Yeah, really sucks. Next up, White Knight Chronicles 2. I should mention that it also comes with fully remastered White Knight's Chronicles, so you're getting 2 games for the price of 1. I have yet to touch this either. Blaze Blue, Calamity Trigger. First game, this is actually the first game in the Blaze Blue franchise. I think, yeah, it's made by Arc System Works, the same guys who recently did Dragon Ball FighterZ. So, yeah, I haven't really gotten too far into this. Devil May Cry 4. Already, as I said earlier, didn't really get into Devil May Cry 2, so I've yet to touch this. Sleeping Dogs. Have yet to touch this. I heard the developers actually shut down, unfortunately. At least. Alright, next up. Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition. This comes with the base game as well as all 7 downloadable content packs. I don't know if I'm going to play this because, you know, the game is also available on Xbox 360 and is backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So I may just rebuy it again just for the sake of consistency. Next up, Medal of Honor. This edition of the game also includes Medal of Honor Frontlines, a remastering of an much older Medal of Honor game. I barely touched this at all. Heavy Rain Director's Cut. Barely. I think I got a few hours into it and then I stopped playing. Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, the collection. I'm aware Shadow of the Colossus got a PS4 remaster, which looks phenomenal. But I've only ever tried Eco and barely got a couple hours into it, and that's it. Sports Champion. This was the title. This was supposed to be the PS3's equivalent of Wii Sports, but never quite got there. I have the move control and all that, but barely used it. I haven't actually tried this. Infamous. I'm a fair way into the game. Have yet to actually beat it. I'll probably try it out later. NHL 11. It's a hockey game. NHL 10. FIFA 14. Which I should mention that this game was released on the PS2 as well. That in Latin America, anyways. I think this is the only FIFA game where it's gotten a release on the PS2, PS3, and PS4. So that's interesting to think about. And FIFA 12. And finally, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster Limited Edition. I should mention that this game's actually coming out on the Nintendo Switch soon. So I'm not sure if I want to play it on PS3 or just play on that. But hey, you do get a really nice art book here. I'll give it that. And that's basically it for my physical PlayStation 3 collection, guys. I'll be showing off a couple more things. Finally, my PS Vita games. Persona 4 Golden. Remastering of the PS2 game. Comes with extra content. Definitely the best way to play Persona 4. The Jak and Daxter HD collection. Unfortunately, this collection doesn't run very well. sadly. And finally, once again, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster. I should mention that the X-2 is a download code, and because I bought this off of somebody, download code's already in use, so, and there's no way to buy X-2 separately. There's no way to buy it separately. Not even on the PlayStation Store. So, yeah. I have 2 versions of the same game. Yeah. And I'm not sure whether I should just play it on the Vita or PS3 or just wait for the Switch. If you guys have a suggestion, comment below. Alright, now I have a couple more things to show, so please excuse the jump cut. Alright, so yeah, here's all my Vita games. Uncharted Golden Abyss, PlayStation All-Stars, Guilds of Mercenaries, Unit 13, and the ones I showed before, as well as Hot Shots Golf World Invitation. I also have Sonic Rivals 1 and 2 on the Vita, but unfortunately my Vita's battery is dead, so I can't show it off. Now finally I'm going to show off my PS3 digital collection. Alright guys, now that I got my PlayStation 3 controller working, let's actually go through some of the games I own. Binary Domain, Sonic Generations, Crazy Taxi, Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, which I can't even run because I don't own the disc anymore, The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, Minecraft Story Mode, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Demo, Bioshock, Metal Gear Solid 4 Database, Life is Strange, Medal of Honor Frontlines, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield 1943, Mighty No. 9, Twisted Metal Black, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which I can't play because I don't own the disc anymore. Same with Far Cry 2, and Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform Demo, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, Sonic Adventure 2 Trial, Sonic CD, and finally Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. So yeah, that's basically all the games I own, guys. Both physically and digitally. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care. And, I'll see you in the next video.